Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel here at SKR Yoga and Wellness. My name is Sam and today we are doing a class for gentle hip openings. So this is going to be a short and very easy, gentle phrase, just really focusing on the hips and lower body and just opening up all of these areas, finding length and finding some ease of tension if that's what you're experiencing. This is a great class to do maybe before a dance class or before any kind of workout, just to get those hips starting to move. So we'll jump right in, starting by laying down on your back. So finding a comfortable position on your back here, and then you'll straighten out your left leg and bend your right knee in towards your chest. Really pulling it in towards you as much as you can. And on an exhale, taking that knee, cross it over your body. Let your right arm open towards the opposite side. Really breathe into your lower back here. Make sure your right shoulder blade is still pressing into the floor. Just relaxing into the stretch. Feeling the twist coming from the belly button. And from here, we'll firm up the belly, flex your right foot, and bend your left knee in. So we're coming into a reclined pigeon pose, and make sure you keep your right foot flexed here as we bend the left knee in, and then grab a hold of the front of your shin or behind your thigh here, whichever is accessible, and then just very softly and gently glide that knee farther towards your chest. You should feel a bit of a stretch in your right glute here, and just breathe into that stretch. Trying to relax as much as possible, letting it go, letting it expand. We'll take 3 more deep breaths here. And softly release that left leg back down onto the floor. We'll switch to the other side, so stretching out your right leg, bending your left knee in towards your chest this time. Try to keep your right foot flexed, heel in contact with the floor. Keep hugging in that left knee. And then on an exhale, take that knee, cross it over your body. Let your left arm extend, looking towards the left. And just settle into this twist. Breathing into your belly button. Really allow gravity to do most of the work, pulling that left leg over. And same transition as we did before. Flex into your left foot and then hook your right knee behind that foot to lift it up back to center. And we'll gently glide the right knee in towards the chest, finding a reclined pigeon here on the left side. Make sure you keep that left foot flexed to protect your knee. And as always, just breathing into the stretch. Trying to allow any tension to melt away from the body. Release your feet back down onto the mat. We'll come up into a seated position and bring the soles of your feet together, so we're finding a butterfly seated position here, and send your feet a little bit farther than you normally would in this position here, so they're a little bit farther away from your hips. We have a bigger space. And from here, make sure both of your sit bones are on the floor. We're going to inhale, grow and get taller. And then on an exhale, fold forward from the waist and try to maintain a straight spine as much as you can. And then once you've gone as far as you can go, then release the upper back and allow the spine to curve. We'll take another 3 breaths or so here, releasing into the hips. And from here, slowly roll yourself back up, sitting right on top of your sit bones. Bring the feet in about another 3 inches or so, and we're going to do that same thing. So sitting up nice and tall right on top of your sit bones, and then on an exhale, bend forward. You might not be able to go as far. First, try to maintain that straight spine, and then when you've got as far as you can go, allow the spine to curve forward over your legs. And try to release any tension from the neck here. So allow your head to hang. And you might feel a bit of a stretch in your upper back when you do this. Just totally okay. And we'll roll up again, sitting up nice and tall. And last time, bringing your feet in a little bit farther. And inhale to sit up nice and tall. And then on an exhale, folding at the waist. You might not be able to go as far still, but try to maintain that long spine. And then once again, curving forward as much as you can. Noticing the difference in all 3 stages of this stretch here in butterfly pose. And slowly rolling up. We're going to come into our first downward dog, so you can bring your feet behind you, hands out in front of you, and lifting your hips. You can walk out your feet, bend and stretch your knees, shake out your head, do whatever you need here, and then settle into your down dog. Allow the heels to melt towards the floor, allow the spine to be nice and long, from your tailbone all the way down to the crown of your head. Shoulder blades sliding down your back. And we'll take another 5 breaths here. From this down dog, we're going to swing the right leg forward to find a low lunge. So stepping that foot in between the palms and then dropping your left knee. And we'll just sit up, placing the hands on your front knee here. Make sure your inner thighs are still drawing in towards each other, like you're trying to pinch the mat underneath you. Belly button is pulling in towards your spine, so the core is still nice and engaged here. So we're not just spilling all of our weight down into the bottom of this lunge here. We're still keeping a little bit of engagement, which will also help with balance. Keeping your front knee right on top of your right ankle. So we've got 90 degrees. Taking a couple more breaths. And placing the palms back down. We're going to send the hips backwards, finding half splits. And you can send your hips all the way down onto your heel behind you. And then just fold your upper body over that front right leg. Keeping that right leg flexed. Just allow the stretch and the length into that right hamstring. From here, we'll send the weight forward back into that low lunge. This time, turning out your front foot, so lifting the right toes and turning them out towards the outside edge of your mat. Plant your left palm on the mat underneath your shoulder and reach your right arm back to grab a hold of your left foot, bending it in towards your glute. And from here, we're going to pull that foot in closer to the glute to find a bit of a quad stretch on the left leg. Taking a couple breaths here. And then we're reversing that action. So from here, kick your foot into your hand to pull your upper body into a little bit of an arch towards the ceiling. So you might feel this in your chest, in your sternum, really opening up the chest. And we'll repeat that once more. So pulling the foot in closer to your glute, finding the quad stretch, maybe bending that right elbow, and then reversing that action. So kick the left foot into your hand to open your upper body up. And from here, gently release that foot back down onto the mat. And we're coming into lizard pose. So keep your feet bottom half where it is. You can stay up on your hands here or walk out onto your forearms. Relaxing here into lizard pose. Opening up into the right hip. Breathing into wherever you feel this the most. And from this lizard pose, you're going to keep your arms or your forearms where they are on the mat and just release that right leg around behind you. So we're coming all the way down onto your stomach. And from here, we're going to come into a little frog pose. So you're going to turn out your legs behind you, trying to bring the soles of your feet together, and then just relaxing your upper body down onto the mat. So we're working on activating those turnout muscles for those of you that are dancers watching this channel. And we'll be here for about another 3 breaths or so. Just breathing into it. And from here, release your legs so your feet will come all the way back down onto the floor. And just straighten them out so they're parallel directly behind you. We're going to place the hands back under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and then make your way back into another downward dog. And now notice in this down dog if your right side, your right leg maybe feels a little bit different than it did when we first started the class. Notice any changes. I know for me right now my right heel is much closer to the mat than my left. So we'll go ahead and even ourselves out, stepping the left foot forward in between the palms, dropping the back knee, finding a low lunge. So keeping that front foot parallel, keeping that engagement between the thighs, core is tight, shoulder blades sliding down your back, and settling into the stretch you should be feeling in the front of your right hip here. And from here, we'll place the palms back down onto the mat, sending the hips back to find half splits. So again, sending your hips all the way onto your heel, and then releasing forward over top of that left leg, feeling the hamstrings get longer, breathing into the stretch. Try to relax any tension in the neck. A reminder for myself as well. Breathing deeply. And we'll come back up, this time turning out that front foot. So your toes are pointing towards the long side of your mat. Make sure your knee is still right on top of your ankle as we reach the left hand back to grab a hold of your right foot this time. And same sequence as before, we're going to start by pulling your right foot in closer to your glute here, finding a quad stretch, holding it here for a few breaths. And then from here, kicking that foot into your hand to open your chest up towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch and that pull across the chest and the front side of your body. And once more, pulling the foot in towards your glute. And kick it back. Let that pull your left arm into this stretch here, almost in a high lift towards the sky. And we'll release softly, let that foot fall down onto the mat, and we'll find our lizard pose, so keeping your legs where they are. You can stay up on your palms or make your way down onto your forearms here. Again, releasing your neck. Again, we're letting gravity do most of the work here. Letting gravity pull us into this stretch, opening up the hip. Same transition as before. You're going to stay on your arms or your forearms and just kind of shimmy that left foot back around behind you. And we're going to repeat frog here on the second side. So opening up your knees, bringing the soles of your feet together, and just relaxing in the upper body. This is also a great pose you can do if you're watching TV or reading, or maybe even if you're on your phone. Gives your hands something to do, or your mind something to do while we're working on our turnout here. So that's pretty useful pose. You want to make sure when we're doing this pose, however, that your hips are staying in contact with the floor, so we're not allowing the hips to lift at all. So we still need a little bit of engagement in the core for this to work. And then again, we just let gravity pull our feet down closer to the floor with that little bit of core engagement to just work those turnout muscles. We'll take another 2 breaths here. And straightening out the legs, place the palms underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and make your way back into our last downward dog. So we won't be too long here, just settling, noticing any changes. Notice if your heels are closer to the mat. Notice how your hips and legs feel now that we've done both sides. And from this down dog, we will swing the right knee forward, place it on the mat between the palms, finding pigeon pose. And you can stay sitting up nice and tall here, or if you'd like, you can walk your hands all the way down. But before you do that, just make sure that your hips are square. And if your hips are lifted off the mat a little bit, it might be helpful just to place a cushion or a block underneath your glutes. Otherwise, choose how far into this pose you'd like to go. And we'll be here for about 10 breaths, so make sure you get comfy, breathing into the stretch. Slowly walk yourself back up to a seated position. From here, we're going to send your weight back towards your right hip and roll over towards the back of your mat. And from here, extend your right leg out and bend your left knee in. So we're coming to what's called Janu Shirshasana here on the right side. And you want the sole of your left foot to be right up against your inner right thigh. And from this position with both sit bones on the floor, we're going to inhale the arms up right beside the ears, and then exhale, fold forward, and you can let the head curve over that front leg. Now you might feel this stretch more in the hamstring, or you might feel this a little bit more into your lower back or mid-back. Wherever you feel this most, just make sure you're sending your breath to that area. Try to release any neck tension as well. And from here, try to reach your hands even farther past your foot to then sit up nice and tall with a long spine to let the arms float back down. From here, we're going to cross the left heel in towards your right glute, and then cross that right leg, bend it and cross it over your left knee. We're going to inhale the left arm up, exhale to hook the elbow on the outside of your knee, cross and find a twist here. And in this position, with every passing exhale, imagine that you're able to twist even farther around, almost like an owl, looking all the way around itself. Only trying to intensify this twist on the exhale. So inhale to grow and get taller, and exhale to twist. Inhale to grow and get taller, exhale to twist, and from here we will unwind, twist to the other side just for a moment, and we'll let go of that right leg, swing it all the way around behind you so that we can find pigeon pose here on the left side. So same as before, if you need a cushion, go ahead and grab that. You can stay up tall here or fold forward over that front leg, just relaxing down. Once again, we'll be here for 10 breaths, so get comfy and just breathe. Start to walk your hands back in, sitting up tall, rolling over the sit bones to face the back of your mat. Left leg is extended, sole of your right foot on the inside of your left inner thigh this time. Inhaling to grow tall with both sit bones on the floor, and then exhale, folding over that front leg. Breathing into wherever you feel this the most. Remembering that one side might be an entirely different experience than the first side. We are not totally symmetrical, so sometimes one side feels much better than the other. Something I have to remind myself sometimes. But whatever your experience, just breathing through it. Not placing any judgment. And we'll reach the arms past the foot to inhale and sit up nice and tall once again. Now taking that right heel, cross it over towards your left glute, and crossing your left heel on top of your right knee, and then inhaling your right arm up to the ceiling, exhale, hooking that elbow and finding your twist now here towards the left. Same thing with each passing exhale, just imagining that we're deepening that twist even further. Inhaling to grow and get taller, exhaling to twist. Imagining this twist coming from your belly button. Inhaling to grow and get taller. And exhaling to twist. And we will unwind, twist to the other side just for a moment. And we're just gonna finish off today's class in a nice wide-legged child's pose. So walking yourself to a good spot on your mat, bring your toes together, heels apart, and you just want to relax your hips towards your heels as we walk our hands forward. We'll be here for about 10 breaths, so we're going to do this child's pose in place of Shavasana just to give our hips one final chance to relax here. So walking your hands forward, melting the forehead onto the floor, and just breathing for another 10 breaths or so. Imagining with each passing exhale that your hips are sinking and melting lower and lower towards your heels. Taking 10 breaths. Slowly, very gently, no rush at all, start to walk your hands back in. Coming back up to a seated position. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this hip opening practice with me. I hope your lower body is feeling much more open, much more available for whatever class or whatever workout you have coming up next. So that's it for me. If you liked this video, please hit like and please do subscribe to SKR Yoga and Wellness. It really does help me in putting up free yoga videos on YouTube here. So thank you once again and have a great rest of your day.